Thanksgiving travel is officially chaos season and the atmosphere is absolutely joining in. We've got two major storm systems on the move, each hitting different parts of the country with snow, severe weather, heavy rain, and even a legit Arctic blast that could bring temps 30 plus degrees below normal. If you're traveling this week or heading back home after the holiday, this forecast matters, so stick around, hit that like button so more people don't get blindsided out there, and let's break it down. Let's start off here with the Rufus model here, our RRFSA high resolution model, showing these two pieces of energy, one in Montana and one that's currently creating a pretty big mess in the southern plains with a severe weather threat. That's going to be slowly marching eastward, bringing a slug of moisture into areas of the deep south and the Tennessee River Valley, and eventually into areas of the Ohio River Valley in the northeast. This low pressure system hangs back and brings some snowfall to areas of the northern plains, and eventually we start to see this low pressure system wind up. This cold front right here starts to get going as well, and we'll eventually see that bring in a significant polar plunge, and we could see blizzard conditions on the backside of this low pressure system as it rapidly strengthens. I mean, we go from a 1,003 millibar low pressure to a 990 millibar low pressure in just about 24 hours. So something significant that we need to talk about as we go throughout the rest of this week. Then the lake effect snow machine gets going, and we could see feet of snow in areas of the UP of Michigan and northwest Pennsylvania, and our second system starts to linger here in the Pacific Northwest, bringing some heavy rain in the coastal areas and some mountain snowfall to regions of the Cascades and the Northern Rockies, so that's something to look out for as well. Here's our total precipitation, combining just the liquid component of any snow once it's melted all down and any rain that we receive, and you can see heavy rain in the Pacific Northwest, some heavy precipitation in the northern plains and the Great Lakes region, a very big band of 1 to 2 plus inch rain rates in areas of eastern Texas up through Tennessee and into Kentucky, and then again some more active precipitation patterns in the northeast, both rain and snow amounting to over an inch here in western Pennsylvania and western New York. And many of these areas are currently in a drought situation, so the Pacific Northwest, areas of Texas and into the Tennessee River Valley, the Great Lakes region, and even the northeast. This is all beneficial rainfall, albeit it is going to disrupt travel very significantly. In terms of snow, we have upwards of 1 foot to 2 feet of snow across areas of the Cascades, a decent bit of snow, 6 to 12 inches across the northern Rockies, a solid swath of 6 inches of snow across North Dakota and into Minnesota. Then the lake effect snow machine gets going, and we can see snowfall totals upwards of 2 feet, maybe even 2.5 feet as we go throughout many areas of Minnesota, the northern tier of Wisconsin, the UP of Michigan, even areas of the northern lower peninsula of Michigan could get over 1 foot of snow. Areas of northwest Pennsylvania, southwest New York, northeast Ohio off Lake Erie, the Tug Hill Plateau off of Lake Ontario could also see some significant lake effect snow as the storm system winds up as it moves back into Canada. So here is our winds. That's also going to be a huge factor here as this low pressure system treks across the northern plains. You see on the back end here, 30 plus mile an hour wind speeds. These are sustained winds, not gusts. As we go throughout the day on Tuesday and into Wednesday, we see this low pressure system wind up, and we could see potentially maybe even some blizzard conditions across areas of Minnesota and Wisconsin if that snow lines up with a lot of this strong wind across areas of the Great Lakes region, and you can see those strong winds correlating exactly to where that lake effect snow machine starts to get going. So obviously the longer the fetch of those winds along the lakes, the more lake effect snow you're going to get, and that's why the UP of Michigan, with the winds perpendicular to the coastline there coming off the widest part of Lake Superior, is probably going to be the jackpot zone for this lake effect snow event. As we go throughout the day, on Tuesday, above average temperatures in the eastern United States, and we'll see this plunge of Arctic air moving into the central and eastern United States as we go throughout the week. So a real temperature roller coaster, especially in the eastern United States as this storm system moves through. And then we'll talk about this in just a second, a reinforcing shot of some cold air moving in for the weekend. But before that happens on Thursday and Friday, some above average temperatures across areas of the Intermountain West and into the desert Southwest as we go throughout your Thanksgiving holiday. I want to zoom in on the southeast Northeast for a second, just briefly talk about a severe weather threat. The Storm Prediction Center has a level 2 risk for areas of eastern Mississippi and central Alabama as we go throughout the day on Tuesday, and that's because as this line that's currently producing severe weather through areas of Louisiana and into western Mississippi tonight, that'll eventually trek across, and we could see some very heavy rain and a line of thunderstorms move through early in the day, but then after that we could see some individualized cells, and that could be a potential tornado risk as we go throughout the later portion of your Tuesday before that line eventually moves out to the south and east. As we go throughout next week, we could see this map fill in a little bit more. This is the NOHRSC seasonal snowfall total across the United States. Pretty barren right now, but we could see some of these areas add to that, not just with our lake effect snow machine getting going, some multiple rounds of precipitation in the Pacific Northwest, but also with just your typical synoptic scale system, because we're going to see this polar plunge moving in after this system, and that's going to set up this temperature gradient here, and these low pressure systems typically like to follow temperature gradients, and we'll see one do just that. That storm that was kind of struggling in the Pacific Northwest to get out of there, well, it's eventually going to start to move out and drop into the southern plains as we go throughout our weekend. This is Saturday morning here, and it's eventually going to kind of get its act together, potentially bring some severe weather to Texas again on Saturday, albeit it's a little early to really diagnose that threat just yet, but some synoptic scale snowfall in areas like the Kansas City metro, maybe even St. Louis starts off with some snow before switching over to some plain rain, and then areas like Chicago getting some more snowfall, and into the Great Lakes region, although I think that the East Coast is going to stay predominantly rain just because this storm will kind of cut to the west as of our current model guidance. Again, things can change. But as we go throughout the first week of December, I think that reinforcing shot of cold air is really going to put us in a wintry pattern where many areas, especially north of the Mason-Dixon line and even north of maybe the Tennessee River, could see some snowfall throughout the first week of December. So for my snow lovers out there, that's pretty exciting as we go throughout the beginning of December. So winter is finally here as we head into the last month of the year. So how does this all break down in terms of our total forecast here? So moderate to heavy rainfall across the southern U.S. and the central U.S. Some light rain there as well. 6 to 12 inches of snow across the northern tier. This is for your Tuesday. Some mountain snow and some light rain across the Pacific Northwest. And as we go into the day on Wednesday, light rain shifts a little bit further to the east. A mix of rain and snow in those purples there. That is where you're going to see things start out as some rain, but then eventually switch to snow as that cold front moves through. Some strong winds on the back end of that low pressure system, and up there 1 to 2 feet of snow throughout the day on Wednesday across areas of the UP of Michigan. And we'll see some light rain and snow continuing across areas of the northern Rockies and into the Pacific Northwest. And finally, for your Turkey Day, for your Thanksgiving holiday, we're going to see moderate rain across areas of the Pacific Northwest as that second system gears up with some mountain snowfall there as well. Again, the lake effect snow machine really churning 1 to 2 feet of snow across multiple areas with strong winds and below average temperatures. It is going to feel very wintry as we go through our Thanksgiving holiday. So a very difficult forecast, but finally got your full look at your travel forecast and the day of Thanksgiving, and it's definitely a busy one. 2 storms, Arctic air, snow, severe weather, the whole menu. I'll keep updating my pages, especially Instagram and TikTok, if you guys can follow there. And I'll keep updating these maps as the data kind of gets better, but I think that overall this forecast is finally set in stone. So make sure you're subscribed here for more weather updates as we go throughout this winter. It's looking to be a busy one, especially in the first half. I think it'll be very front-loaded, especially in the eastern United States. So hit like if this helped you plan out your travel plans, and check the community tab where I'll keep you posted with updated maps and alerts throughout the week and into this winter. Safe travels, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a great holiday, and I'll see you again very soon.